Hello and welcome to the HCBS Community Connections Final Rules Self-Assessment Training video. For more information, you can visit our website at communityconnectionsks.org. To learn more about the Final Rule Assessment, you can visit the Final Rule Assessment page. There's a link to the self-assessment as well as a manual, the questions, and the FAQs. When you go to the assessment, the first thing you're going to do is click Create New Account. The assessment can be found at hcbs-kansas.org. When you click Create New Account, you'll be asked to enter your information and then click Create New Account. At this point, the request will go to the self-assessment team and they will approve your account and you'll receive an email with more information on how to log in. When you receive that information and ready to log in, you'll go to hcbs-kansas.org. Enter your username and password and click Log In. The provider dashboard is where you'll see all of the information for your self-assessments. When you first log in, yours will be blank. This one is not blank because I've been using it to test the assessment. The first thing that you'll want to do is click Update Provider Settings. This allows you to enter the number of different settings that you have. Remember, you do need to complete an assessment for each setting. So in here, I've just entered one for each setting. You can enter any number from 0 to whatever you need. So you'll go ahead and enter the number of your settings and then click Save. And then on your provider dashboard, it will show under Sites Remaining the list of settings that you have. The second number is the number of settings total, and then the first number is the number that you've completed for those assessments. So I have not completed any adult daycare setting self-assessments, but I have completed a board care home self-assessment. When you complete a self-assessment, it shows up here under completed sites, and you can visit those at any point. They are printable PDFs of the self-assessment. If at any point you save and exit an assessment, it will show up here under partially completed sites where you can click to continue that assessment. So once you've filled out your provider settings, we'll go ahead and get started by clicking Begin Site Assessment. The first thing you need to do is make sure that you've completed the steps to prepare. You want to review and complete the assessment questions ahead of time, which are on the communityconnectionsks.org/final rule assessment website. You can find those questions here and here. They are PDFs that you can print or download or view online. And then you will want to attend a training webinar and or read the instruction manual. And you'll also want to obtain all of the necessary documentation that you need to fill out this assessment and make sure that it is named uniquely and appropriately so that you know where it goes within the assessment. Once you've done these three things, you'll click Next Section. Here, we're going to fill out the site information. Make sure that you double check and that you select the options that are most appropriate for your site. Let's go ahead and click Adult Daycare because I know I haven't done that one. I'm filling out test for these, and you of course will want to make sure that you fill in the appropriate information based on the site that you're filling out the self-assessment for. All right, once you've filled this out, we'll go ahead and click Next Section. If at any point during the assessment you need to stop and exit it, you'll want to make sure you click Save Draft. When you click Save Draft, it will take you to the top of the page and it will let you know the assessment has been saved, at which point you can go back to the dashboard if you need to. All right, we're going to click Next Section and keep going. Section B is where we upload all of the documents for desk review. It's important that you have them all together and renamed when you begin so that you can upload everything you're going to need starting out. Just to give you an idea how this works, when you're ready to upload, you'll click Browse, and it will take you to your documents, and you're just going to select the document that's appropriate and click Open. And then it will show here underneath the section that you uploaded it for. If you need to remove it for any reason, you can click Remove. If you want to double check and make sure it's what you think it is, if you click on it, it will open it for you. All right, I'm also going to upload a policy for here. Click Open. And this will hold as many documents as you need to upload for each self-assessment. So make sure that you have everything on hand and can upload it all together. When you're done, we'll click Next Section. And this is where the actual assessment really begins. For each of these questions, they're all yes or no questions. If documentation is required, it will prompt you to attach documentation to the question after you've selected yes or no. So for question C1, is the site located in or attached to a building that also provides inpatient institutional treatment? I'll click yes. And there's no prompt here, so I know I don't need to fill in documentation for that. For question C2, I'm going to go ahead and select no. And you can see the prompt here in red. It's letting me know that it does need documentation, and it even recommends what types might be appropriate for this. And then on the right-hand side of the screen, it shows me the uploaded files, and it says that I have no uploaded files here. I'm going to click X. I'm going to try this again because I did upload files. All right, so if this happens, what we're going to do is we're going to go back to the top of the page and go to number 3 right here, which is where the upload is. All right, and it's reminding me I have a question that needs documentation and I haven't completed it. So I'm just going to say, okay, yes, I know that. And it's going to take me back to step number 3. So I'm just going to make sure I did upload information here. And I certainly did. I'm going to click Save. And then I'm going to click Next Section again and just see what happens. All right, so for this one, here we go. Now it is uploading on the right-hand side. It's showing me that I do have documentation uploaded. So from here, I will just identify what is appropriate for this question. I'll click the checkbox next to it and click Done. And then it's going to show next to my question here which file is attached. And you can see it's building location. If I discover that's the wrong one and I want to change it, if you click Edit Files, you can go back here to the right-hand side, unclick that one, re-click the appropriate documentation and click Done, and it will show here that it is changed. So I'm going to go through here and I'm just going to answer these questions so that we can keep moving forward. All right, once they're all answered, I'm going to click Next Section. All right, so if I begin answering questions and I don't have the documentation type ready, I'm just going to go ahead and show you what that looks like. All right, so there are 3 questions here that I need documentation for. Say maybe you haven't found this yet and you need to come back for it, but you want to continue with the assessment, you can go ahead and hit Next Section. It will remind you D1, D4, and D5 need documentation. If you click Cancel, it will keep you on this page. If you click OK, it will let you progress to the next page. So I clicked OK so we can continue with this. All right, so we're going to go through here and take you to the end of assessment so you can see what it looks like to review and attest. And I am just answering questions with the least documentation so I can show you what it looks like when this is done. All right. So when you are on the last section, instead of reading Next Section, it's going to say Proceed to Review. When you click Proceed to Review, it will take you to the review and attest page. Remember that this is not complete until you do review it and attest it. So we're going to go through each section and look at it. You can click edit on each of these sections to review and change the information. So I'm going to go through and say you think that you've uploaded everything and that you have documentation everywhere. So you're going to say, yes, I have reviewed and do attest. The attest and complete assessment button is not available until you do check this box next to I have reviewed and do attest. So I'm going to try to complete the assessment real quick. But it's going to take me here that says in this blue field, I need documentation for D1, D4, and D5, and it has not been submitted. So I'm going to scroll down here to section D, Community Integration, and I'm going to click Edit. And then I will go in here and I clicked on the answer here, and then it reminded me, yes, you need documentation. So I'm going to click there, and then I think it was D4. Let's see. By clicking on the answers, you can see which ones require documentation. All right, so I've attached documentation to all of these. And then what I need to do is I need to hit next section through the rest of the assessment until I get back to the review and attest page. All right, so I went through and I made those changes, so I feel pretty confident that I have all the documentation I need. I'm going to click I have reviewed and do attest, and click attest and complete assessment. Perfect. Now it takes me back to the dashboard. Up here at the top it says, thank you for submitting this site assessment. Please retake the assessment for each location. So remember, for every location you have, you need to complete one of these site assessments. So it shows me here that I have now completed one of the adult daycare settings. So I have the assisted living facility left, children's residential services left. You can see how many I still have to complete. And so it does show me here under completed sites that I've completed 4 out of 10, and I can review those PDFs here and print them if necessary. So if you partially complete a site and you need to go back in to complete it, you'll just click continue, and it will take you to the place where you saved the draft and exited to, and you'll just continue the self-assessment from there. So I'm going to click save draft and go back to, and this does let me know I've got lots of documentation I need that I have not provided. And that is a basic overview of the HCBS Community Connections Final Rule Self-Assessment. As I said before, if you need more information or support, please go to the communityconnectionsks.org website. There's lots of information on the website that could be helpful. There is a chat function, so you can chat with someone live. If you click the support button, you can see several different ways to access support, including stakeholder calls, which take place the third Wednesday of every month, and a weekly rapid response call wherein you can ask questions. Thank you so much. Have a great day.